I'm Jean de Kwizera. I'm the founder of Big Gulf Limited. It's a beekeeping company that is based in Rwanda that focuses on beekeeping, providing training to new beekeepers, empowering women, youth, and farmers in beekeeping, integrating bees with horticulture, and bee products value addition. We create skincare from bee products. Yeah, we have different products as we will see during this presentation. The company started in 2020 during COVID-19 lockdowns. It's when the idea started, and I was trying to find a solution uh, uh, for the remedy for the using honey, good honey, just to mix with the lemon and to cure COVID-19. It's when the idea of doing the beekeeping as business started. And from then, we were empowered by some organization in agroecology like Yarita Initiative. Yarita was funded by Netherlands Food Partnership. It empowered me for the whole 2 years practicing agroecological activities, integrating bees and beekeeping with the horticulture business, producing natural products, including honey. So farming agroecologically, this is what sent my beekeeping journey to become an agroecologist. And I was a computer scientist in background with some little biology in my secondary schools, and later on I decided to bend towards environmental information system just to see how I can make a blend of beekeeping, my beekeeping expertise, and my academia credentials, as I'm always delivering beekeeping knowledge to local communities and of course international, because I'm participating in different webinars regionally. That's how the company works, and that's where it's rooted in agroecological practices. So what I can tell you, the youth, the people who are following us, we have during beekeeping, in beekeeping, we have very many opportunities. One of the opportunities, like individually, as an individual, as a person who loves nature, who loves the family, one of the benefits is always having pure, trusted honey on your table, because you are the beekeeper, you are the maker, you are the manufacturer. You can have honey in your backyard. Yes, it becomes your routine. Health becomes your first priority, because you are always interacting with the bees in your backyard, in your farm. And of course, the family, the younger ones, sorry for there's some little noise, but we can proceed. So one of the key benefits, one of the things I have benefited is every day I'm working on bees in my backyard apiary, and I'm producing honey. And another thing I like about this is my children, they are always with me. They are always getting inspired, because we are together in the bees, interacting with them. And I think if you are here interested in beekeeping and environment, it can be your inspiration, like to create like a future. Should I call them future environmentalists, beekeepers, people who love bees and the nature. So it starts by by the young age inspiration. So we can inspire, we can guide, we can our children, they can see how we love these small creatures, and it becomes their fundamental experience to learn biology, to learn pollination, to know how to integrate like these stingy insects and the everyday life. So if we decide that everyone uh, should focus on like interacting with bees and honey, it becomes an interesting project for the children uh, to be inspired to participate in the environment and in the agroecological initiative, as long as bees themselves, when you are creating a safe environment for bees, you are practicing agroecology, you are producing like premium products, both honey and other natural fruits, and yeah, because when we talk about beekeeping, we are not just keeping bees for honey, but we are integrating the bees with nature, with the organic farming, because only through organic farming, through agroecological practices, is where we can have quality and quantity honey that is desired on marketplace. Yes, and it's an opportunity for youth, for young generation, to be part of the activities uh, on side of consuming natural or good quality honey and integrating into horticulture to have boosted the horticultural products. It's also an adventure. People come at our beekeeping farms, they learn about beekeeping, about agroecology, and how to integrate beekeeping with the avocado, macadamia, those horticultural to boost the horticultural produces. Also, when you are a beekeeper and you are experienced, you are the one to help beginners, starters, to deal with problems. For example, this evening, someone from our country has called me, and I do it frequently and regularly, or I call it swarm removal. Our Rwandan laws, they favor this regulation of not killing bees and other animals, by the way. And one of the case studies is someone has been calling me recently now, asking me to go in his home to remove bee swarms, swarm removal. It's a service that brings like small money, but it comes in your wallet. So when you know how to interact with bees, you can help the bees not to be endangered. If it was not this service of swarm removal, they would be spraying chemical pesticides to kill all the bee population. That would be the contribution to the collapse in agroecology and biodiversity. But with the solution of swarm removal, it's it gives a hope for the continuity of bees, because bees are the one of the species that are endangered and that are in the way of extinction if no activity is taken. Apart from killing the bees by pesticides, there are also bee diseases. Good beekeepers, youth, they are very energetic and with the same ideology of keeping the bees safe and the environment safe and the community, human population safe. So bees are a good starting. Beekeeping is a good starting. Just you can, as you save one bee family, you are saving. You are also saving a human family, and you are saving we are helping people put food on table. So, and I invite youth to be part of the initiative of knowing how to keep bees, how to inspect beehives, and how to contribute to biodiversity and agroecology, because there is technological advancement, there is AI, there is advancement in medicine, there is advancement in modern nutrition, but still we need a safe, organic or natural environment. As humans, technology will not, I will say it will not upgrade our biological status, how we are created. The way we are created millions of years ago as a human species or animals. So we still have to have that conserved environment that has, I mean, the conserved life that should keep in the scope of environment. It means our bodies are constant, but the environment is changing. So practicing agroecology and biodiversity conservation, keeping bees, creating a safe environment for the bees is the only option or solution for us to endure with the changing environment, technological environment. So bees, it's not just keeping bees. Bees have many products that are healthy, that are nutritious, and if it becomes your custom, my custom, to consume these products and to to harvest these products, we will have a tremendous benefit from all those products like honey, from beeswax, from pollen and propolis. For now, on my side, with the available technologies, I'm benefiting on honey, on beeswax, pollen and propolis, because I'm transforming propolis into skin and beeswax into skin care. This skincare product is and on the skin, it's a solar screen, anti-cancer, and antiviral. They deal with all skin problems. Just beeswax and the propolis. Honey, I never go to hospital when I have flu and cough. I just mix with the ginger, onions, and lemon, then the flu goes away. So I invite everyone to like and to use natural products like honey as a benefit of being a beekeeper. Also, Beekeeping is a vast, I would say it's a vast, uh, uh, it's a vast initiative or project. You can produce, you can become a producer, you can become a researcher, you can become a coach, you can become a consultant as far as you are integrating technology, agroecology, and the food science techniques to produce different products, services, and opportunity. As you see here, we are producing honey, we are producing skincare that is under our brand Umurame, and beeswax candles. You see here, this young woman here is attending our has been attending our training just to do what we call bee queens rearing. So this is what's called the insemination, like removing small eggs, putting them into the queen cells just to prepare future queen bees. So there is science, there is agroecology, there is artwork. Youth can benefit in very many different ways as they explore the opportunities in beekeeping. Still, we have done a lot with youth empowering women, young women in initiating beekeeping projects, and they are very inspired to take action and to diversify their income. Yes, and our factory is here. We buy their product and we do market access because we are certified to sell honey to do the business with beekeeping. This is another project we have done. This one particularly is about bee-based tourism or tourist apitourism activity. It is installed in one of the strategic locations here in Rwanda, tourist destination that is called the Gishwa Timukura. And yes, we train these women and empower them with 90 beehives. Now, their beekeeping farm are one of the inspiring beekeeping tourism destinations you can find here in Rwanda. Still, yeah, these are things we are doing here, and what I like about it is if you become a part of the beekeeper, yeah, you are boosting economic potential, opportunities, and you will be able to achieve that by having stronger colonies. So you can only have strong colonies when you integrate bees and the horticulture and the floriculture. And we are not only keeping bees, but we are also planting flowers, bee-friendly flowers, different varieties, just to make sure we are creating a safe environment for bees and for humanity. So that is creating a safe environment for bees has many aspects, including agroecology, horticulture, integrating beekeeping farms and farming activities, and also empowering communities about how to do their beekeeping, their farming activities. They may not be beekeepers, but they have to know that bees contribute a percentage of above 70% pollinating their crops. So what if they kill the bees? They are reducing their harvest. They are killing their wallets because they don't know the role of bees in relation to just their agriculture or farming activities. That's what we are doing, and should I leave the floor to Leonard, or is it the time to ask questions? I'm here to answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Isado. I think, yeah, that's very interesting and was like the eye opener to our discussion. Yeah, but yes, I have some questions. Like, I'm not a beekeeper and I don't have much knowledge about beekeeping. So I want to ask, what are the dangers or the threats that bees are experiencing especially in Africa or Rwanda specifically? What are the challenges you met as a beekeeper?
Beekeeping endangered. I take the case study here in Rwanda. We have different challenges. One of the challenges is the habitat loss, deforestation. Uh, the the activities of harvesting forests, cutting trees without planting many more others to replace. So we find ourselves forced to do transhumance beekeeping. Transhumance is just like in cattle keeping, is moving cows from where there is pasture to where there is from where there is no pasture to where there is pasture. So like bees also they survive in locations where there are enough foraging plants, and if they don't find those plants, they lose habitat, they lose food, and they die. So the habitat loss is one of the key challenges, and the solution we are tackling about that is I have been stressing it frequently, is integrating beekeeping with farming activities and agroforestry, uh, uh, planting those bee-friendly flowers and trees uh, from which bees can forage. So that's one of the dangers bees are facing. And also diseases, as you see on the screen, this is the varroa, the distractor. If you see at the back of the bee, that small, thick, reddish, that looks red, it's another stress that affects big colonies, and the key is to strengthen the hive uh, by requeening, because this insect attacks the bees, specifically the queen, and it's weakens and the whole bee family is gone. So we have to inspect beehives frequently to check whether what are the diseases that are coming to the colony. Another thing, the third one is chemical pesticides that are being spread in different farms, large scale agriculture activities. And uh, huh, this one is very challenging because it requires beekeepers to join hands with farmers and like uh, educational initiatives, strong initiatives teaching farmers, large-scale farmers, to know the benefits of bees and what they can do when spraying, what are the chemicals or how the biological control of farm pests, but not killing the bees. It's like practicing ecological pesticides, organic pesticides, or like putting an interval of spraying those chemicals. For example, it's the foraging activity of bees starts by 5 a.m. early in the morning and ends around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. If farmers could spray starting by 4 p.m., those farmers who are located near the beekeeping farms, if they can start uh, their spraying in the evening, bees will have left the flowers. The next day, the spray will no longer have effects on the bees because some sprays weaken within few hours. And also, farmers can there's this way of doing integrated farm. Is it? I don't know the real technical term, but there's the way of layering crops, making layers of crops. For example, before your maize, you can plant tobacco plantation surrounding the maize. You can also plant other pest repellent uh, crops that reduce the impact of pests in your farm. Just to That's the natural or biological control of pests in farming. This system of natural pest control also contributes to sustaining the bee populations. So I will say those are the three key uh, challenges that the bees are facing. Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious about the oxalic acid. Are you saying that oxalic acid is a treatment for varroa moth or just kind of a general uh, what's the oxalic acid used for and how is it applied?
There are like pieces of paper and screens that are put in the beehives smeared with oxalic acid, and these varroa, at least they contribute to the removal of varroa inside a beehive. But that's not the surest way. The surest way of fighting varroa is just doing the requeening of the beehive. It means if the beehive is affected, you look for, when you can control the queen, the health of the queen, you can also control the continuity of the bee family. So because the queen itself lays more than 2,000 eggs per day, and if it's infected with varroa, it, it, the, the bee family collapses. So the surest way of the oxalic acid, yes, if you don't have the skills to do the requeening, it can help, but the most recommended is doing the queening of the beehive.
The queening of the beehive, so like replacing the queen?
Yes. If you find the queen is affected, you can dequeen. You can do the queening. Or if it is not yet affected, you can just, this has to be done carefully. You can like take a smaller population or like you can inspect the specific frames that don't have this mite and put together with the queen, and then it like yeah, that can help. The requeening activities has to be done carefully by looking to by replacing the queen or by replacing all the bee population, but with a new queen, you may find other frames from a different hive. You put together with the queen, then those bees from a different hive that is healthy, they can take care of the queen strategically, but it has to start. You have to put the queen in the queen cage for at least 2 days. If we put the queen directly in new bees, because she doesn't have the queen doesn't have the origin of pheromone like their mother, the other queen which has been taking care of them, they can directly kill the queen. But if they find themselves not having a queen, she's hidden in the queen cage for 2 days, and they find you move that new beehive, newly formed beehive with new queen, then they will adapt the queen and they live with the queen, and the hive continues, and this new hive will be healthy. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's good. Yeah. And do you have more questions? Yes, Hashim. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening to each and everyone. Thank you very much for your presentation. My issue is with the honey in the market, in the system now. A lot of people are complaining about the honey in the system. If I say system, I mean in the markets all over. People are complaining. Nowadays you don't see pure honey. It's only adulterated honey. So I wanted to know, how can you distinguish? How can you know the distinguish between the pure honey and the adulterated honey? Because most of the times people want the pure honey to do a lot of things with it. But if it's being adulterated with other chemicals, with sweetness and other kind of chemicals, it becomes a different thing altogether. So I wanted to know how to differentiate between them, between the pure honey and the adulterated honey. Thank you very much.
Okay. First of all, most of the people are not beekeepers. And because they are not beekeepers and they want pure honey, when they don't know what honey looks like, it becomes a challenge. Sometimes I meet a lot of people complaining about purity of honey. Yes, there are. I will not reject that fact of honey adulteration. And fortunately, I don't know how it's done, but there is also consumer awareness that is needed. For example, one of the qualities or criteria to choose honey, pure honey, good honey, is to look for the honey that at least has crystallized. You go in the supermarket, in a boutique, you find the honey that has become solid. That honey is trusted. It's pure honey. Pure honey crystallizes. But this fact of honey crystallization, by the way, there are 5 honey phenomenon, natural phenomenon of honey. And if somebody doesn't know those 5 natural phenomenon of honey, they still complain about the honey purity. Pure honey crystallizes. If we don't know that, if you are a consumer and you don't know that the pure honey crystallizes, you find a crystallized honey on the shelf, you complain. I meet a lot of people who have complained that they bought honey and it became sugar. And crystallization of honey is forming sugar crystals, by the way. And it's one of the indicator of pure honey. So if you find your honey is crystallized, please be sure be confident that you have pure honey. It becomes crystallized or semi-solid, yeah, you will find it. Adulterated honey never crystallizes. Another thing you must know is honey doesn't have a standard physical property. For example, it doesn't have to be liquid all the time. You harvest it when it's still liquid, but after 1 week, 2 weeks, it crystallizes. It can also form layers as it crystallizes. That's the honey is made of 3 sugars: glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose, it looks like the table sugar. Fructose and the galactose, they're found in the fruits and the flowers. Those are the natural sugars found in. Those are the things that make honey sweet. So be aware that honey is made of sugars. That's why it crystallizes to make like sugar crystals. Also, there is another issue of fermentation. Fermentation of honey is another natural phenomenon of honey. Be careful with this fermented honey that has changed the smell. That smells like an alcoholic drink or a beer. This honey may be pure, may be not adulterated, but it's not good honey because it has fermented. Why should it ferment? Because honey is made of a percentage of water. The specific that makes this percentage of water makes the honey semi-liquid. So if your honey has water content starting from 20, 21, and 22%, or 25, there's some honey honey sample I have here that has 25% of water. I harvested it directly from a bee from China. Now, if you smell this honey, it smells like beer. So the honey that, I take a study of honey in Rwanda, if it goes between 20 and 22, this honey will ferment. It becomes like alcohol because it was harvested when it was not ripe. Ripe honey never ferments. It doesn't do fermentation. If it's for African bees, Africanized bees, if they produce honey that is between 20 and 22 or 23, it means you harvest the honey during the rainy season, or it's semi-ripe. It is not completely ripe. When the ripe honey is covered with whitish material, or when it's ripe. So, but if you find it's not covered, fully covered, don't harvest the honey. Otherwise it will ferment, and you will feel the smell, and it will do like alcohol does, and in the bottle it will ferment and change the smell. So don't harvest unripe honey. So about the quality and adulteration, people have to be aware of of fermentation, crystallization, and also changing of color. There is no standard format of or color format of honey. You may have several colors of honey. The color doesn't indicate that the honey is adulterated. Only you can know that honey is pure if it at least does fermentation. And also, good honey, genuine honey is never cheap. So if you're not, don't buy honey because it's cheap. And also you can trust the honey if it has quality mark. There is standardization marks by FDA or quality mark in your respective country is one of the key criteria you have to look at, because at least honey producers who have the contracts with the government, if we breach the contract about the quality, it's our shortcut to the jail. At least the government controls the adulteration by offering those quality marks. And if you buy honey and you are skeptical about it's genuine, it's being genuine, if you take it to the curator, they test the honey and they find it has problems, that specific company or individual who has produced the honey is in danger. So quality marks and the price are also some of the indicators of honey. Thank you.
Thanks. Hashim, have you answered?
Yeah, thank you for that explanation. Yeah, thank you very much. I think we should have honey purity regulations all over so that we can see the good ones that are in the system. Because all over people are complaining, especially even in Ghana here, people use a lot of things, a lot of unacceptable things, a lot of chemicals to just adulterate the honey to make it more plenty and get more profit, which is not good. And people consume those things. They are chemicals. Yeah, they are harmful to the body. So thank you very much for your explanation. I think we need a lot of education on this. Thank you. Maybe next time we can see whatever we can do. Thank you very much, each and everyone. Bye.
Mm.
Welcome.
So,
there is another question here. Someone has asked about, they wish to know where the best honey comes from. The best honey comes from flowers, and each or specific flower has its health benefit. For example, there is this eucalyptus honey. If you prefer like the good smelling honey that is very, very sweet, so eucalyptus gives a honey with good scent, good smell. There is the honey from Vermonia amygdalina. This is our bitter leaf plant. If you consume the honey from bitter leaf plant, this honey is bitter also. If it's that plant population that is more available at the foraging area, the honey will also be bitter, but still it will have huge health benefits. But if a consumer isn't aware of the properties of honey with respect to the specific flowers, they will still complain by color, by taste, that the honey is not pure. So when purchasing honey is a matter of trusting or look for the sample the manufacturers, look for manufacturers whom you can trust, who have skills about hygiene, traceability of honey, and who at least apply food safety standards, who know what it is. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, Ananda, you want to say something?
No, I just think that if you can't trust labels, then it's best to create local markets and have the honey producers, to share the kinds of practices that you do and get a reputation. So, like, I know that I get honey from people in my neighborhood, people close that I know, that I trust how they do their beekeeping. So I know that I will always get good quality product, but I think that's if you don't trust what you get in the store, you have to cultivate local markets.
Mm.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
good. Mm. I want to make some intervention. Yes, uh, for if you go in the market, on your side, you can't see if honey is pure. But what Jean Dodier has said, there are two key what you can see on your in the bottle, the the crystallization and the fermentation. So when you go in the market and you see the honey in the bottle, you can see if the honey has already crystallized. That is one key who can tell you the honey is good. Because after some time, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, if a good honey with good flowers and in the harvesting they have done a good job, the honey will be crystallized. So this is one key for to see if the honey is good. And here in Rwanda, we are lucky because the government has been introduced some regulations to see for the companies who produce the honey. So in that way, we are lucky because sometimes there are companies who have been imported the honey from outside, but it was not a good honey. So the government has been introduced some regulations on the market. We hope that we have a good honey, like the honey of Umurame and the honey from the companies who have worked last time. It's called the Loyo Ubuchi. So there are many with the regulation. So thank you. That is my intervention with the question who has been asked with our brothers from Ghana.
Thanks, Christian. So I would like to ask a simple question because he mentioned about the origin of flowers. I mean, of honey, depending on the kind of flowers. So I'd like to know how long the bees can go for forage, if you know.
Okay. This science, they apply the mathematics and the geography. When you want to be find this a perfect place with abundant flowers, food, foraging, the bee has found that specific location. There is this kind of measuring distances and the dances they use just to tell other bees to go to the place. But with the context of surroundings or environment around the beekeeping farm, the bees have that ability of foraging in an area or in a circle with a radius of 9.6 sorry, of 4.8 kilometers. That's the radius, or the diameter of 9.6 kilometers. That's their foraging circle. It means the closer the flowers are, the more efficient, the more honey production, the more the bee family will flourish, because they are picking raw materials from close distance. But when they are going far from the beehive, it costs them a lot of energy to bring in raw materials. That's why sometimes they decided to move to the closest distance where they can find food and water. Remember, water is one of the key components in honey making, because it has to compose to take a percentage of 18%, 19, 18, 17% of honey. So where there is water and where there are flowers, and that particular distance is where the bees prefer to be. I don't know if I have answered correctly, but
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing to know. And also, I was wondering on something you mentioned about chemical pesticide that people use too, and you recommended farmers, for example, to keep their beehives within the farms. And most of our farmers today, they are doing spraying chemical pesticide and even some fertilizers, for example, for leaves and flowers. That may be harm for the bees. So what are the things that we may consider during either setting up our apiary within the farm, maybe agroforestry or a food forest? For example, as a farmer, what should I consider? Should I stop spraying, for example? Or what is your advice to make those things compatible and working together and helping each other?
So I take case studies of some of the large scale farmers whom I'm interacting with. For example, in Nyagatare, Eastern Province of Rwanda, there is one large scale passion fruit farmer. Passion fruit, they also need spraying of pesticides, but still they need the pollination of the bees. So they have to integrate the bees with the passion fruit, and at the same time they are spraying. So they are applying the agronomic knowledge of what are the chemical or what are the pesticides to spray in your farm is the key. So I think commercial farmers, they know the benefits of pollination. That's why they need the pollination services. As long as you know the contribution of bees in your farm, you have to look for those trusted pesticides that do not kill the bees. And because most of the commercial farmers, they also farm for the market, and that particular market is very strict on the percentage of chemical contamination on the harvest. I think the balance and the knowledge of what are the organic pesticides you can apply to your crops will help bees and also help your harvest. Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, thank you so much, Jean Dodier. I don't know if anyone has a concern or a question before we end up our meeting today.
I was wondering, here in Canada, we have native pollinators. We have native bee species that are not the honeybees. And sometimes people have concerns about those native pollinators are being are dying off. I wonder if honeybees are indigenous in Africa, and if there's also different other types of pollinators that you find.
Honeybees, uh, as as we all know, honeybees contribute the biggest percentage of pollinators. Like wind has its percentage. There are other insects, small insects. Generally, insects that forage on flowers are also pollinators. But bees specifically because they have those pollen baskets on their feet, their legs, they carry a lot of pollen from one flower to another. So in this particular case of pollination, bees contribute a percentage of 75%, and the rest or other pollinators take that remaining percentage. So honeybees particularly are the most contributing factor in the pollination sector. And yes, as the bees are in danger, also, those other insects are also in danger because the pesticides, the way the principle of how they work is just killing those minor creatures. And as long as they are also killing us, they don't kill us immediately because our body is massive, has billions and billions of cells, but these small creatures have very few cells. That's why pesticides immediately kill them. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but the question was, recently you mentioned about African bees colonies. So do we have some honeybees that are originary from Africa or indigenous to our countries? That's also was the part of her question.
Okay, sorry. So Africanized bees are Apis mellifera. These Apis mellifera, they have these ones that are very aggressive. They are adapted to ecological live in Africa, and different business people, researchers have tried to import other bee families that are stingless, and it failed because of ecological adaptation of maybe the climate and whatever. So African bees, honeybees, are indigenous to Africa, and they are biologically adapted to live in Africa. Yes.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
great.
Yeah. I
So
know
thank you
that
so much.
here people
Mhm.
it's people like encouraging people, like you said, to who want to do agroecological plantations, so they're not using the pesticides, and you make around the area where the bees go very many options, like planting pollinator habitat around your things, and as you said, using agroforestry so that your bees are, there's a lot of variety around that the bees are attracted to. So I think that's really important to get more and more people educated and aware that putting these practices together with lots of flowers, lots of habitat for bees, and complementary productions like agroforestry are a really smart idea that we need to educate people on.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't know if anyone has a question or any last thought. Otherwise, I would say thank you so much to Jean Dodier, and apologize we didn't manage to have Munansi, maybe due to the situations. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So,
did look it up. The internet is blacked out in Uganda, so that's no doubt why
oh,
he couldn't show
oh,
up.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
There's
the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
nobody in
Okay.
Uganda is online right now.
Oh my God. Okay. So then we will be having information maybe after on
Another
what's going
time.
on.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Jean Dodier. I'll be happy to invite you to our next meetings, and I hope you will be sharing a lot of knowledge with us. So thanks, Ananda. Thanks, Christian, Ashim, and everyone who joined. Have a lovely evening, morning, and day.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the
Thank
meeting.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Goodbye.